best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we're going to work with some basic math in order to determine how many hours and minutes a larger quantity of just minutes is. As always, I provide a starter file for you. You can download it in the link provided below, or you can type this in yourself. We'll give you just a second. You can pause the video, and then we'll get started. All right, so let's get started. I've already got a large number of minutes displayed here, and I'm going to create two new variables, one for my hours and one for my minutes remaining. Notice I've declared and initialized both of those to be 0. What I'm first going to do is declare that hours is going to equal minutes divided by 60. Now, this should return a decimal value. 321 divided by 60 in this case is going to be 5, and then a little bit less than half. However, because both minutes and what I'm dividing by are both integers, this is integer division. So it's going to give me a whole number. So what's that number? Well, that number is going to be, in this case, 5. Of course, if I had a different number for minutes, that could give me something entirely different. The next thing I need to do is figure out how do I get the minutes remaining. And there's a couple of different ways that I can do this. Okay, so I could maybe take my minutes and say, okay, hours times 60, subtract that from minutes. That would be that's one way I could do this. Or I could use the modulus operator. So what I'm going to do is say minutes remaining equals minutes and then %. This is modulus. Modulus gets the remainder. So ignore the whole number, just what's the remainder. And what am I getting it of? 60. So now I just say cout minutes. Notice that each time I add a variable or a string literal to my cout stream, I'm using those two arrow signs that point towards cout because I'm pointing it towards my display. I'm sending out information. This is a real simple program. You can see it doesn't take a lot of code or anything like that to make this work. If we go and run this, you notice that 321 minutes is 5 hours and 21 minutes. So very simple in order to come up with this equation that works. Could we do this even simpler? Well, the answer is actually yes, we could. So let's do a quick example of simplifying this down. Okay, so here on line 15, I say int hours equals 0. Well, what's to say I have to do int hours equals 0? I could simply come in here and replace that 0 with minutes divided by 60. Likewise, with minutes remaining, I don't have to initialize that to 0. I can initialize that with an answer. Got rid of those couple of lines, don't need them anymore. Now notice I'm declaring and initializing them at the exact value. This simplifies my code just a little bit. Does it make it fast enough to make it worthwhile? No, this is not going to give you any real performance improvement, not unless you're doing this tens of thousands of times. However, this is one way to do it just to show you that we can initialize it with the value that we actually need. And if I go and run this real quick, you're going to see it provides the exact same answer. Now, if you want to go just a little bit further, the next step, of course, is to go in and update this. So instead of having a set number of minutes, you ask the end user how many minutes they want to do and just test it out. Your formulas are going to stay exactly the same, and it's going to be easy to process. If you like this example and want to continue to get better at programming in C and C++, please consider the other videos inside of this playlist. Additionally, you might consider subscribing to the channel.